Hello and welcome to another video of me, Ginger and Charlie Coffee Cup. Today's video does not take place in that back garden. Instead, it takes place at a place that we've been to, well, this will be the third time on this channel, but our second time only on the Merseyrail network. And I thought, well, 2025, I'm already there, why not do a video? It was completely unplanned, but I had the time to do it, and I thought, why not? So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Ginger and Traffic Coffee Cup's second ever trip around the Merseyrail network. Some stations we've been to previously, others for the first time. Enjoy. This was genuinely a video I did not think I was going to be able to do. Hence why I've done the intro with the coffee cup somewhere else. But with the Arctic grip on this country gone, see, no snow on the ground here in Liverpool at all, and life really looks beautiful in the sunshine, I thought I'd take a trip around some other stations on the Meadering network that I didn't see last time, including one that used to be a terminus but now no longer is. So I'm going to get on the train, but first I thought I'd start at James Street. Just over there is Liverpool Docks, and that building behind me was the White Star Line's headquarters in Liverpool. Now, apart from it saying so on the front, there was something that gave me a clue that it might be White Star Line affiliated, because of this in the windowsill, a model of the RMS Titanic. So let's go and have a look at the docks, shall we, before we get back on Merseyrail. Well, here it is, Liverpool Docks. And that body of water right in front of you is the River Mersey. Yep, the very same river that flows through Stockport, Sale, ends here. And that Stena line goes to Belfast. Definitely a trip we need to do. But this port front's gorgeous. I mean, recently they had the aircraft carrier HMS Prince of Wales here. You guys get cruises across the Mersey to the Wirral.
No, that's the impression that they do, you know, and that's what.
Then behind us we've got the this building here is the Museum of Liverpool. That's the Port of Liverpool head office, and that building is the Liver building, with a liver bird on each clock tower. But what's weird is, on that clock tower there's a clock face only facing that way, and on that one covers all four sides. Since my last video in Liverpool, the Merseyrail network's conversion to 777 trains is now complete. None of the old stock remain, all 777's. And last night I actually went to one station we're going to go to in this video, and on the way back there was a lot of football fans. because Everton played Peterborough in the third round of the FA Cup last night, and I mean the station was rammed. It was really busy, but the train turned up and there was next to nobody on it, and everyone on the platform managed to get onto the train. And the 777's do seem to take quite a lot of traffic on them, and especially when Everton move to their new stadium, it's going to have to take thousands more. But we'll head further down the line and discuss the football clubs of this great city in a couple of stops' time.
On platforms, past trees and stairwells. Please do not leave any luggage or personal belongings unattended at any time. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to a member of staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it.
In this gives Newcastle Metro vibes, doesn't it? But I can confirm it's definitely Merseyrail. You can definitely tell by the yellow signage and that sign over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from James Street to Moorfields, and from Moorfields out into other parts of the network. Well, I've got to say, even last night, they were keeping you informed as to when the trains were running. The website had all the train times on it, what was cancelled, what wasn't. But another thing about this network that is a bit of a quirk, like in Manchester on Metrolink, you can use an app with the phone ticket on your phone. In Newcastle, you've got the card. In London, you've got the card. Here, all old-fashioned tickets, which I actually quite like. I like the fact that it's not on the phone; it's all paper ticket machines and stuff. And it just works really good. And for a day rider to cover the whole network was £6.40, which I didn't think was too bad, actually, considering. And unlike, well, I was going to say like Manchester, but not anymore. It's Merseyrail is different to every other, like the buses. Merseyrail, they're all separate. Manchester now has the B network, which we've already done a video on. But I thought, seeing as I am in Liverpool, why not do a video on the Merseyrail? Water in between the rails here. I couldn't get over. It's lunchtime in Liverpool. How empty the station is. We've been on the Underground enough times to know that that can be busy at any time of the day. But this network I mean, this particular station, Moorfields, is the main connector between the Wirral and the Northern Line. But it's really quiet, quite eerie. Onto another escalator. Hey! Very strange. Like, last time I went on this network, it was really weird how quiet this particular station was. Considering Lime Street's the next station along, and that's rammed because of the trains, but this particular one, really quiet. We could go that way to South Park, leaving the airport, but we're not. This way instead. Now, for those of you who haven't seen my last video here, see those numbers that are on there? That's to tell you how long it takes in minutes to get from this current station to those stations. And our first stop on the line is going to be Sandhills, which probably takes 4 minutes. That's where we went to last time, Kirkby. But as you can see, there's a new station. We'll be heading there in this video as well. We won't be going as far as Southport today. Now, one thing I will say about the Merseyrail trains, that I think it makes them better than the Metrolink trams that I'm used to in Manchester, is how much more functional they are. I mean, yes, you can stick one end to the other in both these and the Metrolink ones, but there's certain little things that make them better. The 777's have bins next to all the doors from what I've seen, and also when you get on the doorway, it goes green when you can get on and red when they're closing. But if you put any part of your body in front of the door, instead of the ones in Manchester where they'll just close on you and yeah, you have to move, these will stay open. And also, in fact, I'll show you on this very train, when you get on, a lip opens on the door, so you can probably step on the tram without having to get stuck between the two. Anyway, let's go on the train, shall we?
Please take care when boarding the train and make use of all available space.
So Liverpool is known all over the world for its love of football. Now, as much as Liverpool take all the headlines, there are two teams in Liverpool, Liverpool FC and Everton. Now here's a little bit of history. Did you know that Everton were the original team of Liverpool and once played at Anfield, but due to a dispute moved to Goodison Park? Well, in 2025 Everton are on the move again, and it's to the structure that we saw from one of the class 777's, and it's at Bramley Dock. So let's go and have a look at it, shall we? Hey, even the Metrolink don't do that. 777-036. Thank you so much for the toot there. That was great. I wasn't expecting it, hence why I nearly jumped out my skin. Brilliant. But let's head to the stadium that you can just see behind that tree line, and let's go and see Everton, the current state of Everton's new home. I do hope Everton keep this as the entrance to their stadium, because as entrances to a stadium go, that's pretty cool. And I've got to say, this is as close as we can get. It is still a building site. JCB proves that. Having seen Tottenham's new ground and now seen Everton's new ground, I prefer this one. The bottom part, below with the metalwork, fits in with everything else, being all brickwork and things like that. But, you know, you've got to build that. And with Everton having new owners, that stadium one day could be in European competition. They've just got to stay in the Premier League this season first. And you can actually see, if you just look about there, where some of the seats are going to be. That looks quite high. But when a team moves into a new stadium, it means they leave an old one. So let's go to Everton's current home until the end of this current season, Goodison Park. And to do that, we need to go back to Sandhills and go from Sandhills to Kirkdale. Welcome to Kirkdale. Now, this station is home, and we're going to go and have a closer look at what we can see in the sidings in a minute. One of the Merseyrail depots. Now, if like me, you like football, currently, until the end of the 2024-25 season, this is the stop that you would get off at to go and see Liverpool and Everton. Last night, when I got here, it was empty, like there was nobody here. And here is some pictures of what it was like outside Goodison Park. Everton won 2-0. Just across Stanley Park is the team with the second most amount of titles, Liverpool, behind Manchester United. And it is currently the closest derby in the Premier League. Not the closest derby in England, that goes to Notts Forest and Notts County. I'll have a look now as to which two stadiums will be the closest as of next season, because it won't be these two. Look at Google Maps. Goodison Park's here, Stanley Park's in the middle, Anfield's on the other side. The closest derby in Britain is Dundee. One's at one end of the street, the other one's at the other end. It's great. So, yeah. And it definitely stowed here, you can tell by the rails when we look at it, it's gorgeous. But on a January morning in 2025, where else would we much rather be other than a platform in Liverpool? Another thing I like about the 777's, apart from the fact they're actually really quiet when they set off. It's something you see it back. You can never tell what lane what company they work for. The red M. I like that. It actually show it at the front when they go into the tunnels. Before I actually spotted that before. And I just think it's a nice touch. I mean, they probably are designed that way anyway, but the fact that they're on Merseyrail and they've got the red M, I think it's really good. It's the small things on trains that make the big differences. But in Manchester anyway, the B network now in full effect, apart from local trains, one of the pledges they've got is a new fleet of trains. And if anyone from Manchester Council or Andy Burnham's office watched this video, how about getting some of these 777's? Because I think they might be a good investment. Like I said, they're bigger, they've got more amenities, and if you looked at a B-roll bit earlier on in the video, you will have noticed bike spaces. Now, up until recently, you weren't allowed dogs and you weren't allowed bikes on the Metrolink network. They trialled dogs, that's fine, you can now take bikes, they're trialling bikes. Get the 777, they've got enough space. It was when I got back to this station from the game that those Class 777's proved how good they are, because that platform was filled with football fans, and so was that bridge. And I was only here probably 10-15 minutes. 2 777's turned up. They filled one with one load of from the platform, and then filled the next one with everyone that was on top of that bridge. Admittedly, yes, it was an FA Cup game, it wasn't a Premier League game, that probably had something to do with it, but the fact that 2 trains filled with just a whole station worth of passengers was amazing. I mean, we know what it's like when you go to a Premier League game at the Etihad, they're putting singles on and there's not enough space for everyone to get on. The Merseyrail trains seem bigger, especially on the inside, than the Metrolink ones. But there's a lot of usable space, which helps the situation. I mean, watch me go to the new Everton ground and be waiting around for ages because I can't get on the train. But to come on a match day and to not be waiting longer than 15 minutes to get back into Liverpool was amazing. Well done, Merseyrail. But when it comes to Liverpool and sport, there's another sport that takes place in the Liverpool area. One I've not been to, and depending on how you view it, means if you'd go or not. But we're going to go to the station of it anyway. So we're going to get the train down there on the Ormskirk line and go to the home, or one of the two homes, of horse racing in Merseyside. You have Haydock, and a couple of stations down there, you've got Aintree. Welcome to the next stop on our journey on this part of the network. Welcome to Aintree. The station even told me where we were, or even I did. How good's that? So, Aintree is known for being the home of a very famous horse racing course. Home of the Grand National. Now, I can't say I've never been to a horse racing event before, but can you imagine what this train's like on Grand National Day? Or on Ladies' Day? Jeez. But I think that's why the 777 train was brought in, because Liverpool is known for being quite heavy on major events. In fact, there's the race course. Beautiful. So they needed a train that could handle vast amounts of people that are all attending one event. So like every other weekend during the football season, Everton or Liverpool are at home, apart from 2 weekends when they play each other. You've got horse racing meets here. You've got the M&S Arena in the centre of Liverpool, which will be busy whenever there's an event on there. So being able to get people out of somewhere and being able to handle the capacity of it would have been very, very important in deciding what was the next train to take over the mantle from the previous class. And just going off last night, the 777 was the correct decision.
The next station stop will be Oral Park.
Now this is something that I think any light rail or any rail company in general can take ideas from, and I actually like this. Again, this is why I think this is better than Manchester's Metrolink. You have these types of seats here, so 4 people can face each other, so if you're in a group instead of just facing one way or the other, you can sit together. And also, they don't have those on the tram network in Manchester. And if you actually look at it on this side, they've got cup holders, and on this seat, instead of them being in the wall, Josh is part of the seat frame. So yeah, they are very accessible units, the 777's. If you want to sit by yourself, you can sit there, and there's also a power under there, and saw on the mural before, but there is bike spaces. Outside of the train, on this door, which is the last door either at the end because it's going towards Liverpool, or at the front going towards Ormskirk, or any other ones, there's actually a symbol on the door itself for bikes, so then you know which door to get on. So, yeah, the 777's, as a class of train, are very good. And if the B network wants to create tram train type things, this is a pretty good place to start as any. And he isn't a ticket inspector, he's actually a conductor. So like, he's got a whistle and everything. So I think if it's really busy, like, it tells them, get off, we're going. So yeah. So that's all part just stopped at. And here's a picture now of the door. Now above it is the route that the train's taken. I'd like to come on and off. I'm going to go which one's lights come on, and then when it's getting sunlight they go off. But it actually shows you where you are on the network at any given time. So if you don't know what station you're at, that one's switched off, or there, it tells you what station is next and where you are on the line. Again, another thing that makes these better than the Metrolink trams of Manchester. We'll see it again when we get to Kirkby. Video I did on Merseyrail. It was it was over a year ago, and on here there was a sign saying they're coming. And behind me, this bit had basically a block, so you couldn't go any further than Kirkby. However, as you can now see, the block's gone. Yes, Kirkby is now no longer the terminating station of the Merseyrail network. They've built another one. As you'll have seen on the B-roll of the last train that left here, it's now called Headbolt Lane. And I'm here, it's the next station along, why not? But I'm just going to show you just down here. Obviously we can't go past that sign, big red light and passenger must not cross this point, obviously. But you can see what was the old station here at Kirkby that would link it to Northern Rail trains. However, now we have to go one station more to Headbolt Lane to do that. Single platform, but as with all the stations we've seen and been to, all very on brand. Oh, and here comes a 777. And there are other stations in the Merseyside, Wirral area that I think should be put on the Merseyrail network. Now here's two to start off with. How about Stanlow and Thornton and Inton Elton? Inton Elton is one of the least used national rail stations in the country. Denton in Manchester is the lowest used, or least used station in the whole of the UK. But I genuinely believe Stanlow and Thornton, Inton Elton, around that area should sure be on that network. Because I actually didn't know this. On my last video, this comment was put in. and I didn't actually know this, that this network is bigger than the Manchester Metrolink network. And it's people like that that help me know more about this network. Because as I said, up until that last video I did, I'd never been to this part, I'd never been to Liverpool. Apart from to get a passport changed, but there we go. Or a new passport. So, thank you so much for that comment, and you learn something every day, and it taught me something I didn't know, and I'm very grateful for that as well. I did mention St Elton and why that should be added. Now, Stanlow and Thornton is an interesting one for the proviso of it's not had a rail service since 2022 because of the footbridge that links it to the road that you can get from the road to the station. And there's safety concerns about that bridge, which means currently you cannot get a train to it anyway. So, unless they fix the bridge, maybe Stanlow and Thornton will remain a quote-unquote mothballed station. But I think stations around this particular part of the world, if they are like low use stations on Network Rail or anything like that, I don't know how much it costs to change them from Northern Rail to Merseyrail, but I think it would be very good. But if they can't fix the bridge, it'll just be in St Elton. I've got to go to some of these least used stations because, you know, why not? I mean, Denton's pretty much on my doorstep and in St Elton's not that far away, so yeah. There's a trip for the channel. The least used station in Manchester and least used station in Merseyside. Let's do it. Should we try and get a train from one to the other? If I'm thinking about it, you can probably only do that on a Saturday. Shall we do it, guys? Shall we do it? But until then, let's enjoy the current video, because coming round that bend in the next 2 minutes, according to the dot metric sign in front, which is there, is the next train to Headbolt Lane. And I will say something about that as well. They were mentioned like today's service was going to be a bit intermittent because of the current weather conditions, but around Liverpool, it's not really, there's no snow at all. And the stations outside of Liverpool, there is. But I've not noticed the difference. I mean, most of the trains are on time or a minute or two late. So well done Merseyrail on that. So, I'll see you at Headbolt Lane.
We are now approaching Headbolt Lane, where the train will terminate. Please change here for services to Wigan, Manchester and beyond. Step-free access is available at this station. This is Headbolt Lane. Please take care when stepping from the train.
Welcome to the end of the line. Welcome to Headbolt Lane. Behind that wall there is the Network Rail station. at Headbolt Lane. And you can actually get the train from here to Manchester. We're not going to do that today, but we might do in the future, especially if we want to do the two least used stations, Denton and Inton Elton. But yeah, the newest station on the Merseyrail network. It's only a couple months on. In fact, I'll put the date it opened in the video now. And I put this wall in for because, come on, we all want to see the trains. You don't want to see a wall? What's a wall for? Platform 3. If I've just spotted that. So on the Merseyrail side, we've got a double platform, but on the Northern Rail side, Network Rail side, only one platform. But it's very on brand with their Merseyrail, isn't it? And this is the train service you can get. Headbolt Lane through Wigan, Swinton, Salford, Manchester, all the way to Blackburn. So there's a journey we can do one day. Headbolt Lane to Blackburn via Salford and Manchester. Very nice. So, we're going to end the video here. The end of the line. Kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it? But as I said at the start of this video, I just didn't know I was going to do it, so sadly the coffee cup's not here. Again, I keep forgetting him. And unfortunately, the coffee cup, or the original coffee cup, the one I still use, its days on the channel might be numbered because it's broken a few places, and I might need to get a new one. But until he gets replaced, he will be back in the next video. I do honestly promise that. I do hope you enjoyed today's video on board the Merseyrail network of Liverpool. If you did, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit notification once you miss a video, and me and the coffee cup will definitely see you in the next one.